Hello, it's Dr. Owers. So today's topic is going to be how you can burn more calories without increasing your exercise or decreasing your eating. So the average metabolism takes about 1,800 to 2,200 calories a day to run. We know that 1 pound of fat, when utilized through your body's mechanisms, can produce about 3,500 calories. The average person who is not overweight has about 100,000 calories stored as fat available for you to use as energy during the day. Sugar-wise, the way that we don't really store sugar very much as actual sugar just sitting there. It mostly does go into a fat. In order to just have sugar be your fuel, you usually have to go through a process called gluconeogenesis. So gluco is sugar, neo is to produce anew, and genesis is the creation of or the production of. So gluconeogenesis, making sugar anew. But you can only manage to do about 1,500 to 2,000 calories that way. So it would stand to reason that the 100,000 calories of fat lying around would be a great place to get your energy from. And this is what I would suggest that you tap into. Because if you do that, your sugar floating around your body will decrease because you will be using ketones instead. That's what the fat will produce as your fuel. Your insulin levels will come down, so your hunger will come down and your cravings will come down. And insulin resistance will also be mediated, or there will be a positive influence towards any insulin resistance that might have developed or might be developing. So the most efficient way to do this, first of all, is to not eat breakfast. Now, isn't that funny? Everyone has that thing in their mind, the most important meal of the day is breakfast. But the word breakfast is literally breaking a fast, break fast. And it would be interesting for you to experiment with the idea that perhaps upon getting up, you should be active. You should do other things other than eat and break your fast later in the day. This will reduce your hunger overall because it will not have sugar floating around right off the bat in the early mornings, and therefore the insulin also won't be running amok. Being active is important, so that's exercise. But you have to be careful not to induce too much what's called oxidative stress. So how you get most of your energy, probably all of it, is through a little guy called a mitochondrion, which there's about 2,000 of them in each cell, and you have trillions of cells. So you have a lot of mitochondria. These use oxygen and produce oxidants as a waste product. This could be useful in some respects, as oxidants can be used to kill off viruses and varying invading things in your body. But when things get out of whack, when the mitochondria are maybe overstressed or damaged, they start to produce too many oxidants. This can lead to cell death, and this could lead to all kinds of things, including terrible diseases like cancers within your body. So it's important not to do this over-exercise thing in a body or in an individual that is not first primed or prepared to do that amount of exercise. Avoiding high amounts of carbohydrates. The only exception there are good carbohydrates found in vegetables, and so that's something that we can talk about later. And just to realize that even if you don't ascribe to a lot of what's being said here, irrespective, it is an unrefuted fact that only 15% of body transformation results stem directly from an exercise that you do. If you're getting more results and you're in an exercise regime, it's wonderful that you are there, but the chances are very high that it is really not that exercise regime, that's yielding most of your results. There's something else that you're doing, either knowing or unknowing, that is bringing you to the goals that you're trying to meet. So how do you tap in to all of this? The concept is called intermittent fasting. And if, as you remember, I said it takes about 1,800 to 2,200 calories a day to run an average human metabolism, let's say the average is 1,950 in the middle somewhere, you can have that in one day, depending on how you choose. Grazing and snacking, we've already covered in another video how that's not as efficient. There's the 3 meals a day version of that, which would be 650 calories a day. There's the 2 meal a day version of that, which is now entering into intermittent fasting, which means that each meal you can have 975 calories. Or there's the 1 meal a day, where you're consuming all 1,950 calories at once. You have to, of course, make good choices. So low carbohydrates, but a lot of the vegetables are okay. Moderate amount of protein. And if it's from animal sources, you have to watch the kind of protein that is, how it's produced, how it's raised, etc. And increasing good sources of fat. And if you do this, it will speed up your metabolism. Intermittent fasting, you ask, well, 2 meals a day, how does that work? You can choose a 6 or 4 hour window. The optimum Goldilocks zone is the 4-hour window of eating. And then you fast the other 20 or 18 hours, depending on what you choose. So we can get into more specifics about that in other videos, but this is the key. This is the magic bullet, if you will, to transform yourself.